This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, many Bahamians are still talking about last night's TBN program. The Trinity Broadcasting Network, the world's largest religious network, featured Grand Bahama during its 2-hour Praise the Lord program. The special show that was recorded in September and included images of the island and interviews with local religious leaders was seen by millions around the world. Minister for Tourism Obi Wolshcombe says the broadcast did wonders for the country's tourism sector, noting that the exposure it provided was indeed significant.
I appreciate that the exposure of the island was there and the dialogue was outstanding. I believe that everyone had an impression about Grand Bahama Island and saw what it represents. And there was a connectivity. Don't forget, you're co-branding with a major network. TBN is major. And they're endorsing you. That's what it amounts to. And to be able to get a feel of the country and an understanding of the country is just so significant. For us, you have to now build upon it. You have to get them back to the Bahamas, do something even more major, and cause for it to continue, because that's what gives you the exposure that the country needs. And your question, you're so correct. You can't pay for that. You don't have the money to pay for that, because that exposure reaching the millions of households.
Well, the show featured images from various areas on the Grand Lucayan property, beaches in Lucaya, as well as underwater scenes. Wolshcombe says that TBN's broadcast is just the latest in a series of promotions that will produce huge dividends for this island's tourism industry.
I believe to get that out there and to allow for the world to get a taste of it was just so important. And Grand Bahama is on the move. I feel very good about the tourism sector. I know in a couple of weeks you'll see new airlift coming from Vancouver for the first time, direct service from Vancouver to the Bahamas, but in Grand Bahama. In fact, we head out to Canada next week for the launch. And so a number of things are happening as we seek to rebuild tourism in Grand Bahama. So to get these sectors like religious and sports all involved, and to get religious because that's a market that can be sustained and can grow, and we can reach out to more conferences, more television networks, and we can use now TBN as a major brand that has been able to connect with the Bahamas. It helps us in our marketing.
And there's additional international publicity for Grand Bahama as the Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board takes the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival promotion on the road. Members of the Bahamas National Festival Commission and local tourism officials made a stop in Atlanta last week. The objective to invite the people of that city to join in the elaborate carnival celebrations next April. Now, Lee Martinborough has the story.
Team Bahamas was represented by members of the Bahamas tourism sector and the Bahamas National Festival Commission. The team made several stops, including a visit to Atlanta's premier inspirational radio station, where they were able to get the word out about the 2015 Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival season. Grand Bahama will have 2 full days of carnival activities, and Tourism Board Executive Carmel Churchill says additional airlift will be put in place to ensure its success.
It was phenomenal. We had an opportunity to call on over 100 travel agencies while we were in Atlanta, and they were really excited to hear about the events that are taking place in the Bahamas. But most of all, they were very happy about the fact that Delta will be increasing its non-stop flight service to Grand Bahama Island. Starting on November 2nd, Delta will be flying daily from Atlanta, and then in February, Delta will add a second flight on Saturdays. So it definitely on the weekend of April 17, in addition to the daily nonstop service, we will have 2 flights on the Saturday, which is the 18th of when our event will continue for the Junkanoo Carnival.
But Atlanta isn't the only city on the team's itinerary. This group is looking for maximum exposure as the countdown continues to Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival 2015.
Right now, we're working on finalizing those cities within the U.S., and I anticipate that within another week we will be able to announce those cities. But one thing we know, Pittsburgh is there. Definitely, we found that the flights that did extremely well this year was the flight from New Jersey and Baltimore. And so we anticipate that those cities will be back. There's another new city in there that we're really excited about. It's a particular city that we've seen organic growth in terms of tourism numbers. And so we're going to be focused on helping them to get to the island a lot easier.
The cultural show will take place on Grand Bahama, April 17th and 18th. Churchill says it promises to be fun for everyone.
Our events will take place the weekend of April 17, 18, and we're really excited about that. So we will have the 25 semifinalists of the musicians perform here on Grand Bahama Island at Tino Beach. It's going to be a grand performance. The quality of the concert itself will be at its highest level, and Grand Bahama will be showcased.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Natalie. Well, the gender equality referendum is garnering some crucial support as the leader of the Anglican Church, Bishop Leish Boyd, publicly supported the effort as he made his address at the Anglican Synod last night. As the debate continues, residents are weighing in on the postponement of the highly controversial referendum and what would be on the minds of Bahamians. Joan Davis Roll has this story.
No man should have any greater right in this country than we as women. None.
The issue is as hot as the controversy it has generated, but as the debate goes on regarding gender equality, the government has decided to delay the November 6th referendum. This move coming as welcome news.
I think it's a good thing because the whole country needs to be on one accord, not for a few of us, because our future, which is our children, when they get to read this Constitution later on, they will say, what did the devil, what have our people, my parents, my grandparents, my friends, the country, what have they done? So I'm happy that they have decided to postpone it.
In listening to all of the talk shows and stuff, I was actually shocked at the reaction of the public. And I felt that it was good to postpone it because I believe that if it had taken place when it was supposed to, it would have failed.
Local businesswoman Minna Outen, along with female activist attorney Constance McDonald and resident Anthony Francis, with this advice on what should be considered for those leading the gender equality charge.
We should not approach these things with fear. And I think a lot of people were just so afraid. And afraid of what? I mean, you know, especially when it comes to women, I believe that women make just as much contribution to this society as the men. And they should not be discriminated against in any form or fashion. And, you know, I don't like Bahamian men believing that women can't think for themselves. And I don't want anybody to even think that women are not in a position to think for themselves. Because we women have been like the backbone of this country for years and years and years. We have held up our children. We have done and supported our families. And so therefore, don't act as if we are some weaklings who cannot make a decision in our own best interests.
I feel that if you apply for a certain job and the job pays a certain amount of money, no matter whether you're male or female, it should be the same thing.
With more education and consultation, there are those who believe that whenever the bell tolls and the gender equality referendum is held, they, along with other Bahamians, will make a well thought out, educated decision.
Do not disadvantage women by saying that you go where your husband is. Who are we? We're not chattels anymore. We are contributing, responsible members of this society.
Persons say they have no problems when it comes to gender equality, once it does not seek to debase men, but in fact put women on equal footing with their male counterparts. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis Roll.
Well, parents in Grand Key, Abaco say the public school in that community is still without a full complement of teachers, and they are again expressing disappointment. Ricardo Lightborn has an update on that situation.
2 weeks ago, the parents in Grand Key kept their children out of school in protest of what they call the Ministry of Education's slow response to their concerns regarding the absence of at least 2 teachers in critical subject areas. PTA President Stephen Russell says he spoke to officials of the Ministry of Education and took them at their word that the teachers would be coming to Grand Key. It's been 2 weeks now and he's disappointed.
We're not the ministry. They may have their excuse or they may have their challenges of why teachers isn't here, but they need to come forward and be honest about those things rather than just selling anything and expect for us to buy it. We know what we have been dealt with in the past, and we know what we need to get the teachers to here, and we know what the challenges are, which is hardly nothing to get those teachers here in Grand Key.
The parents of Grand Key will no longer allow their children to be shortchanged. Russell says Grand Key is a special place with special children that need addressing and a good education.
It's pertaining to getting teachers here. The challenges here in Grand Key is much different from the challenges that are in the capital and the Grand Bahama. We don't have to find apartments. Teachers doesn't have to need money to get the electricity on, their water on, furnitures. These things come prepared in their apartments. So there isn't any excuse of why a teacher isn't here, because those challenges are not here in Grand Key. All you have to do is get the teachers in here. And the community are so in need of these teachers and want these teachers so badly that if the ministry would get these teachers from Nassau to Grand Bahama, the community are willing to assist to get them here to Grand Key.
Also from Grand Key, there's a current water situation that needs to be addressed immediately by the Water and Sewage Corporation. The water tank that stores the water produced by the reverse osmosis system is leaking, prompting water to be turned off in intervals. The residents of Grand Key are asking for a quick resolution to the water situation on that island. Ricardo Lightborn, ZNS Network News.
Well, we spoke with an executive with the Water and Sewage Corporation who says a leak occurred in the water tank and repairs were delayed because additional materials are needed. But he says Florida Aqua Design, the builders of the bank, will be in Grand Key on Friday to carry out the repairs, which should last for 2 days. He says in the meantime, rationing will continue. Now, on the education matter, we were unable to reach an official for an update on the situation. In news from the crime beat, a young Abaco man is detained in hospital in New Providence with a stab wound to the chest. Reports say around 6 p.m. police received information that the 15-year-old victim and another male were on a basketball court in the Mud community in Abaco, where he was reportedly stabbed with a knife to the chest. The victim was taken to the Marsh Harbor Community Clinic, where he was treated for his injuries and later flown to the nation's capital for further medical attention. Now, police are searching for the suspect in this matter. Investigations are continuing. And police in Bimini are looking for a man accused of robbery. 33-year-old Jeffrey Baldwin Francis, a.k.a. Kippy, is a fisherman by profession, and his last known address is listed as Kings Highway, Baileytown, Bimini. Now, Francis stands at around 5 feet 10 inches tall, medium brown complexion, heavy built, and about 250 pounds. If you can assist police in locating Jeffrey Baldwin Francis, a.k.a. Kippy, you should pick up the phone and call 347-3144, CDU at 350-3107 or 8-911 or 919. Stay with us. There is more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Department of Social Services is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a big exhibition highlighting the work of the agency under the theme All People Matter. The display illustrates the historic development of social services from 1964 to today. The exhibit includes all of the various areas they are actively involved with throughout the island. Deputy Director Lillian Quanforbes says the department is elated to have made it thus far.
The work of the Department of Social Services is so vast, and I say to people that we are responsible for persons prior to being born and to the grave. And so we here have exhibited all the various divisions in the department, Community Support Services Division, and that is division where we assist people with different things, rent, light, water, food, basic stuff. Burial assistance, clothing allowance, all of those are things that we do. Our Child Welfare Division, where we deal with children who are abused, neglected, and abandoned.
Now, members of the public are encouraged to go out and view this exhibition this month at the C.A. Smith Complex on the Mall Drive.
We do, and I say to people too, there's so much, because we haven't even gone into our relationship with NEMA and being hurricane prepared or disaster prepared, and so it's unending the work that we do in social services. We don't do it alone. We do it with the help of my good support staff, in addition to the help of persons in the community from other government agencies and people who are just concerned about their fellow man.
Well, it's a popular youth program on Grand Bahama, and for years, it's been teaching business skills to the youth. As Joan Davis Roll reports, it continues to attract scores of young people throughout the island.
A program which for decades has been exposing students to the world of business, launching another JA year, the Junior Achievement Program held its registration process recently. Hundreds of students from both private and public institutions turned out at the Bishop Michael Eldon Auditorium for the event.
I feel that Junior Achievement is a very good program for young children to be involved in because it gets them prepared for the real world so that they know what to do when it comes to owning their own business, so they don't have to work for other people and they can become entrepreneurs.
I think that this program is an amazing program because it empowers many kids just to be inspiring entrepreneurs. It's an amazing program, and I think that every young student should be a part of this program.
Well, I came in J last year for the first time, and I didn't understand it. My parents just wanted me to go into it because it was a great thing. But as I was in, I found myself, I found my voice. I was quiet, and now, I have more confidence going in speech competitions, meeting new people. It was a great experience.
The future business leaders were assigned to the various companies that will help to formulate what they hope will become the award-winning business. This year, like previous years, director of the program, Ron Dames, has the full support of advisors who will help to plan the organization's business thrust.
They learn about the importance of presenting a quality product, being a man or woman of your word, that integrity and credibility and reliability are important things. They learn about the importance of timelines and being where you're going to be when you say you're going to be there and delivering what you say you're going to deliver.
A lot of them want to be entrepreneurs and a lot of them want to start their own business, and it's primarily for that, but it's also if you're working for someone, if you want to become a doctor, these things can carry you far.
A lot of people just like to work for someone. We want them to learn how to be their own, have their own, develop their own product and see how they can present it as almost a product that is representing them.
We're going to be teaching them how to budget, to give them more elements. So yes, you can get in the working field, but then to survive along with working is what we're prepared to do.
This year's program is expected to feature a number of exciting events and unique products. Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Lucayan Hotel launched its training program yesterday. 20 hospitality students from Jack Hayward High School were chosen to work at the hotel to gain more hands-on experience in the hospitality industry. General Manager of the Grand Lucayan, Benjamin Davis, says this program will be very beneficial for all students.
It's going to give them a little bit of insight into the business. I think it's a good thing, so they can actually make up their mind if they want to be part of it or not. So if the ones who are serious about it, I think they will learn a lot, and the ones who are a little bit hesitant will take them some time, and then they can make a decision after they get back to school. But I think it's a great thing for them to have, and it'll give them a broad base of what this business is all about.
Now, students felt privileged to have been given this opportunity, and they are looking forward to working in the hotel industry.
It helps you to be a inspiring young person, and also help you to interact with others.
It feels good because it gives me more experience about what I can be learning in the kitchens, new foods, what I never know about, how to cook them and stuff like that.
It's very good. I feel as if this program is opening our eyes to see what we are currently getting ready for in this industry.
Stay with us, Ricardo Lightborn, as a check on sports when we come back.
Hey everybody, it's Sports Time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Let's get right to it. Sports are dedicated to Travania Blatch, Jordan, Jay Williams, and Emmett Higgins all celebrating today. And yes, Sheena, no ice cream for us. Tough in this place. Orthopedic sports therapist Dr. Edvardo Thompson is advocating for more efficient ways of athletes training in the country. His visit to Grand Bahama was the start of that process. The high school's Oriole knows Zena Nesbitt volleyball season is in high gear on Grand Bahama and preparing to enter the playoffs. The primary schools are also playing basketball in the Goon Culmer Keith Mullings League. The Grand Bahama Softball Association's Indies Championship, and the winner will advance to the BSF Nationals at the end of the month. Orthopedic sports therapist Eduardo Thompson was on Grand Bahama to address the concern of sports injuries, especially with young athletes.
One of the biggest things that I'm seeing right now is that the stretches that we've been doing, that the kids are doing now, we've been doing these exact same stretches for the last 40, 50 years. The game has changed. You have to understand not just stretching a muscle. One of the things we would teach you is that don't get ability and purpose mixed up. A muscle may have the ability to do a certain movement, but what is its purpose for that particular muscle group? And if you don't stretch it that way, 9 times out of 10 you're going to strain, pull, or even in some cases tear a muscle.
Now for the weekend sports warrior that participates in contact or non-contact sports, precautions are essential.
Now, if you sustain an injury as a weekend warrior, the chances are you go into work. That's your livelihood. So you're just as valuable, as important as a young athlete who's looking at that scholarship. So having the information that is really going to allow you to train or exercise more efficient and smarter is going to be the key to your success.
Here's one for you. Coaches now have to be certified to participate in sports national programs and even in schools. But the injuries of the athletes are increasing.
So we have more qualified coaches than any other time in the Bahamas and out throughout the Caribbean. But we haven't seen a reduction in injuries. So there's a flaw in the program. There's something that is missing. And this is the missing link. Having the knowledge and the understanding that stretching, the old methodology that we've used for stretching, has some flaws. And this is why we're here. We're here to help athletes, coaches, and parents to understand that you have to stretch muscle specific and sport specific.
Well, the Grand Bahama Volleyball Association on court, folks, and the Nesbitt Randall Angels defeated the Youth in Action in Ladies Affair 21-25, 25, 27, 25, 21, 25, 14, and 15-8. As far as the men's affair, the Grand Bahama Shipyard Sharks put away the JT Defenders 19-25, 26-24, 25-23, and 25-22. Let's go to the Oriole Knolls. Was in Nesbitt High School League. They also had some games. The girls on court as Bishop Michael Eldon girls beat Lucana National 21-8 and 11. Egmarog put away St. George's 21-8 and also 21-18. Egmarog Junior girls getting by the Panthers of Mary Patricia Russell 21-1 and 8. And Sunland over Jack Hayward 21-9 and 21-13. The 8th annual Abaco Open Water Swim was held on the weekend in Marsh Harbor at the Crossing. Another successful swim. The registration for the Abaco Open Swim was a breeze. Swimmers are eager to compete in this year's race. The Abaco Open event attracted swimmers of all ages every year. Yep, swimmers of all ages are ready. The coordinator setting up the floating start and finish line. Swimmers in the water at the crossing, and it's called milling. For the open water swim, the safety is important and a must. The swimmers and with the official countdown, the start of the swim. And they're off. Over 40 swimmers of all ages facing the currents and the elements. Parental support is a major part of the Abaco Open Water Swim. Some kids wanted to swim and some sat out. All the safety protocols in place for this year's swim. The weather was not a factor for the swimmers in this year's race, a 8-year tradition. For some of the swimmers, it was a casual swim and steady as she goes at that. Belinda Williams in the Ministry of Tourism was taken by the response this year.
Had a tremendous turnout. We had kids from as early as 10 that participate in this event, and like I said, it's been growing over the years, and the ministry has been pushing with all advertisement, getting information out, encouraging persons to come on down, because we know that October is really our fall season, which is very slow in Abaco, and this is a good time to host this event.
The Abaco Swim Club President Brenda Sawyer gave this year's race a thumbs up.
Great race. We had great weather, and everybody finished successfully. Nobody pulled out.
The girls 12 and under champion is Tyler Albury, and congrats. 13-19 champion, that's Kate Sims. As for the 20 and over female, Jennifer Cook won and Vicky Stafford second. The Young Swim Award went to Ramon Pinder. The boys 13-19 winner, Alex Sands, Keith Lloyd, and Colin Kerr. 1 hour, 8 minutes for Alex. The 20 and over champion, get this, Craig Stewart, Troy Sims, and Ray Cumberbatch. Hats off to the organizers of a successful Abaco Open Water Swim, 8 years and growing.
Guys had an awful lot of fun. Softball tonight, girls will play at 7 o'clock, men will play 3-1 both sides. It's finished tonight. Go out and get some macaroni. That's the only reason why you want to go to the softball park. That's sports.